Okay, so it's going to have Emma inside my full guard. And what we're going to do today is, okay? So with the full guard, my partner's job is she's got two choices. She's either going to try and pressure pass by taking the space away from me and crush me like a C-pass, or she's trying to get her hips as far away from my hips as possible to open up my legs. As a general rule, if my legs are hooked behind her, it's hard for her to move directly backwards. So she'll generally choose to move to the left or right. Most times people are going to move to my right to their left to pass the guard. So understanding that she wants to open that leg up, I back myself up by putting my right leg over my left leg. And that way she tries to push my leg down, it's on a lever. Where if it's down here, there's nothing. Does that kind of make sense? Right, so I always try and put that on. Secondly is this, and this is the part that that it's kind of unspoken, but this is the battle that takes place. Emma wants my hips onto the ground. Right, so two things. She's got a platform to push off, number one. Number two is if I open my legs through an arm bar, whatever like that, they're pinned to the ground so I can't complete it. Number two, I can't turn for a sweep because she's got my hips pinned. So as a general rule, her goal is to try and keep my hips pinned to the ground. The next part, which is kind of the unknown, is, and this sounds really weird, if my hips are low, generally my knees are spread a bit wider, which gives them more of an access point to push onto the legs. Okay. So bearing that, I'm going to do this with inside that. So what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to put my elbows in nice and low. What I do is I'm going to drag my heels down and raise my hips up. I'm going to shove my hips in as deep as I can. And now I'm going to do two mechanics. Right, here's this. As I drop my hips, I squeeze my knees and I pull forward to break my partner down. And the reason being is this is, once I put my feet down, drive into her, her weight's going which way? So what way does she want to go? So she'll try to push my hips down, which gives me that ability to break it down. So I'm kind of working against my partner. And the thing about it is that, like, once my hips are raised, as she pushes, all the weight goes here. So as I drop down, my legs kind of come underneath to break it down, but I don't have to undo my legs. I always want to get a head and arm control or a double head control. I don't want double arm because she'll just get posture again. So I want to get one hand onto the head or both hands onto the head. In, come here. Gotcha. So one full guard. Good work. Okay, so once again from here is, Ian wants to try and get my hips to the ground so I can't track him, so he has a platform to push off. Also my legs on the ground, he's got the ability to open my legs up because there's more of a surface to push off. So what I want to do from here is this, is I want to get my feet high, I want to drive my head onto the ground so I have a platform. I drive my feet down, I drive my hips up, so I've got this huge platform. He'll generally kind of go, I want the hips to go down. As he does that, I drop my hips and I'll pull forward to break my partner down. And I always get head control because he wants to try and get posture. And again, so from the full guard, the two mechanics is I want to make sure that my hips, my right leg's always over to start with. I'll put my head on the ground, so this gives me a platform. I drive my hips as high as I possibly can by bringing my feet down. He would generally try to push my hips. As he pushes my hips, as I drop, what I'm doing is I'm doing an abdominal crunch. Bring my knees forward. I've got this ability to take him right off his feet. So the more that he pushes down, the more drive I have to take him forward. And sometimes like that, when Ian's kind of floated, I've got the ability to hold him straight over off the sweep as well. Okay guys, so on your own size, 1, 2, 3. So if you think about it this way, right, is the more that my knees are spread, the better balance I have left and right, but the worse balance I have coming forward. The more I put my knees together, the more she tries to pull me forward, but my balance left and right is gone. So the downfall about it is that my triangles misalign. So my feet become a triangle, so my feet are this way, but here, sorry, the weakness is going one side. forwards. So I change my triangle. So now, see the triangle's off center? So she's pulling me into the solid structure. I have a power zone in here to burn her. Does that kind of make sense? So the part about it is, and this is the drill, is what I see everyone do is they go, oh no, I'll move my leg forward, and then which way is their weight going, so they get broken down. So I play with them with the uppercut. Okay, I go like this, knee goes in, and I drop my hips. I turn. And this is a really good way to start to open the guard. Especially no gi. Because she hasn't got that collar grip, she can't break me down, and she gets my hands locked on. So what I do from here is, first of all, is exactly what we've done. We'll put what I call inside the box, so my elbows on the inside. I put my weight here. Now watch carefully. It says, if I move my knee towards her butt crack, first of all, I'm off balance. So my right leg slides backwards, my left leg comes in. So my triangle's misaligned, or more importantly, the structure is now better for passing the guard. Cool, can I go with this? So when I first started to do this, I had a lot of issues. So I'm inside Paul's guard. And like I said, here, like if he tries to break me down, like and he's got strong legs, like I've got a pretty good base here, like I'm quite happy here. But for me to open the legs, I've got to go here. But the downfall is you can already feel like I'm going to get broken down, like I've got no posture. Yeah, like I'm easily gone. So what I do for is I go inside the box, and what I mean by is everything, my elbows go to my hip, my bottom goes to my ankles. Here. Slide my right leg 45 degrees backwards, bring my knee in. And it's really hard for my partner to stop it. So because I'm so low, if he turns to sweep me, I'm low. Wherever I'm here, he's got the ability to turn his legs and sweep me in that. So I work it down nice and low inside the box. So first of all, is the hardest part is my elbows go to my hips, my bottom goes to my heels. And I'm going to weather the storm a little bit. 1, 45 degrees, 2. And now, straight away, so he can't regard. Right? My knee pops always, so he can't regard. Once the legs are open, I'm in the game. If I don't open the legs, I'll never pass the guard. Ian, come here, Blind Fury. Sit down on your bum. Over here. Ah, good job. Okay, so full guard. So what's going to do, the issue with the triangle is I have my base this way here. I have no structure going forward up with my hands. But my hands are here, I can't do much because instantly my hands are broken down. So my elbows come on the inside from here, and I drop my bottom down so my weight's going backwards. My right leg slides 45 degrees out, but I try and push so I'm not moving forward. My left leg goes in. You try and hold your guard. Push backwards, pop your knee, nice and tight. And again, come on in. Man, you should go and train with Paul. He does all this strength conditioning and rehabilitation. It's freaking amazing, man. You're not looking at anything, you're blind, okay? So from here, man, I hate this guy, so why? Okay, so elbows in, bottom down, 45 degrees. Okay, push, contact, contact, contact here, slide back, pop your knee. Generally what they're going to do is go and try and sweep this way, post, so I'm on his leg, he tries to push me over, because my weight's on the, like it's really, if I'm here, yeah, so I just crush the leg down. Knee goes down, bop, pass the guard. So partners, 4 minutes, do a couple of times each. 1, 2, 3. Posture and balance. This is so important. So what I see people do, and it's kind of, it's an unnatural, so anytime that we're going to push down, my shoulders tend to roll down, so my weight's on my partner. So what I want is I want to tap my bottom down so my weight's on the inside. So she tries to break me down, my frame's on her hips, wherever I'm, yeah, right, do you know what I mean? So it's really important. So what I see people do is they go here and they go, I slide that leg backwards. So as I slide the leg backwards, all the way over the partner and leg gets broken down. So the part that I was trying to explain to you guys, working on the inside of the boxes on here, what I do is I tilt my hands this way. That way, you know, see, I try and get my elbows on the inside, so they're on the inside. So she pulls the legs forward, my weight's on her legs. So it's harder, wherever I'm here, she gets that little bit of momentum to be able to pull me forward. So number one. Number two is this, is when I take my ass to my heels, my weight generally goes backwards and my shoulders come up. So when I'm here, I'm going to push backwards, and what I'm doing is I'm sliding, so at no stage does my weight go forwards. So what I simply do is go, oh, I need to take the weight to the side of my leg. So as soon as I do this, yeah, your weight's going forward. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of going, I'm going to straighten my leg. I'm not lifting it. So here, so I straighten my leg, turn the corner. I know this is much better for me because I'm on the inside position. So I always try to keep my shoulders and my head backwards and my elbows in. And this way, this is a stronger structure than your hands. Because that's a solid, does that make sense? Like it's a solid bone structure. Well, I find people that they're here, like there's no structure in this at all. So I try to always get these together, like I'm almost like floating from here. Number two is that once my weight goes down, if she tries to pull me forward, it's very hard to pull me forward. And now, if she tries to, as her weight goes forward, that's a key indicator for me to move because she's giving me space. Because her weight's gone forward. So for me, it says, sorry, babe. Right? Pushing. Now, even if her legs are longer than mine, I can go here and I can pop my knee. As long as it's got that tiny little space, I can pop my knee through the middle. So I don't have to get the legs open, I just need to get that distance from the hips, especially no deep. Yeah, jumping back. So just the small details is if I'm pushing down my partner, by default my weight's going forward so you can break me down really easy. So what I'm trying to do is I try to get my hands this way so my bone structure, especially if I lock it onto my hips, the structure here is very hard to move, very hard to pry away from my body. So I lock it in by going nice and low. Does that make sense? And I'm on the inside. What I'm doing, instead of trying to move my leg forward, I can rock out to my left side to make my right side light. Now, slide. So I'm not lifting my leg up, I'm sliding it backwards. And again, so from here, my elbows come onto the inside and I'm using this structure here. My body goes down. What I'm doing from here is I'll rock out to my left side a little bit, my legs go straight. Push backwards, put my knee, I'm going to go past my push. Leg comes up, make sure it's tight, that way you can't go to down here. You can't leg lace or like anything like that, so take the space away. And what I'm generally going to do is if my knee goes to the ground, over him, and I keep my leg high, so he can't keep me in half guard or trap the half guard, and then pass that side. So what I'm going to do now is just let you go of a different body shape and size. Obviously something you can try and keep your guard around. I'm going to have a look at breaking down. The person that's on their back, just like 5% test the boundaries every now and then. Just try and break them down to see how good they're going. 4 minutes. So it works better with my partner, kind of like I'm not breaking them down all the time. They've got a little bit of posture and I'm kind of like, man, I'm having trouble breaking them down. So it works better that way. So Emma's inside my full guard. And what we're going to do from here is, we're going to do the first part. So I'm going to close my guard up. She's got the elbows on the inside, so this to me means that I need to deal with her posture straight away. So what I do is I'm going to put my head down onto the mat, that gives me a drive my ankles down to the ground, head onto the ground, drive my ankles down to the ground, raise my hips. Now I'm going to do two motions. I'm going to shoot my right hand under my butt and between her calf and a hamstring. When I break it down, my other hand's going to grab the head. So I'm here, as she pushes down, I shoot down and I come under. From here. And I've got to make sure I'm forming a fist and I'm putting the leg into me, not at extension from here. Now, as my partner tries to push away, I overhook the arm. So we're on the opposite side. If I go underneath the leg, as I break my partner, I overhook the arm. I'm trying to get elbow deep, I'm trying to put my arm in. I don't want my arm out because she gives her freedom to be able to move her arm and elbow. So I try and put this in as deep as I can. In one motion, I'll pull my partner forward, kick it, pop, and I've got this, back shoulder. So I've got this ability to here, so pull forward, carry her weight on me. So see how there's only one neck, I'm lifting this up. Okay, and I haven't undone my legs yet. So as I start to kick here, is now I'll go scissor. So this leg now goes scissor, and now if I put my foot down, there's a space, so my knee goes to the ground first, and my knee goes to the ground. If I put my foot to the ground, there's a space so she can hip escape and start to move. This is easier, but if it's easier, it's generally easier for her as well. So once my knee goes down, I've still got the leg. This is quite a solid, and you can almost tap your partner out with this from here by dropping your hips down onto your partner. Okay, Ian, come here. Thanks, baby. So keep coming out, buddy, keep coming around, keep coming around. Okay, so from here inside the full guard, once again is I put my head onto the ground, drop my ankles down and shoot forward. Here we generally want to push. So what I'm doing in my motion, my right hand, it sits here. As I break him down, his bottom comes off his heels, my hand goes under, and I come over. Now as he tries to push up, my hand here is going to grab hold and in. Bring my weight forward, kick it, scissor my legs. My knee goes down onto the ground, and I just start to drive forward. To get this, it's not really a submission, but like see my shoulders into his throat. So I'm going to get the drive from my partner. Come back in here. The hardest part that I see is people try and slip the partner sideways, not over their shoulder. Right, so you've got to take him over your shoulder. It's the hardest part back to move. So from here, my head goes down, I drop my ankles down, I drive my hips in, so I've got a really big space on it. My right hand drives under, and what I'm going to do is, as his bottom comes up, I drop my hand between the hamstrings and his calf. So I would put my hand, as he drops down, my hand goes between the hamstrings and the calf. Now, if he puts his hand on the inside, that's even better for me. I take his elbow out and dig my arm in. So this is the second bonus. I now pull forward my hand and my knees, forwards again, from here. Scissor. Don't put your foot down, put your knee down and hold. So he'll generally try to kick out. It's a really strong grip. Yeah. No, man, I'm used to people. Joe dripped the blood into my mouth the other day. My voice's blood. And I was like, Joe, there's blood. Like, just something that I'm seeing that's happening a little bit. And we jump on this side, it's easy to see on this side. So raise my hips, head to the ground, drive my hips in nice and high, hand comes under, break my partner down, knee close. What I'm trying to do is here, so what I'm saying is, if you're trying to sweep, I'm going to exaggerate this, if you're putting your arm here, number one is your own arms in the way, number two, his elbow can hit the ground post. So what I want to try and get is here, so that the arms, so now I've got the finish as well. So what I'm saying pull forward is I want this arm to be as deep across. I try and grab my hips, so my arms like that on the hips. Secondly is if I get to here and I grab the leg and Ian goes no way and puts his weight backwards, I just swing up and arm bar. But there's a really deep arm bar from here as well. So anytime that he pushes up, if I've got that up, the arm bars are really deep arm, but it's very hard for him to stop. which is why I think this swing should be one of the first combos because it allows you to go to armbar and triangle from here really easy. So just let me reiterate. Here's from here, so break them down, hips high, underneath, break them down, my hand. So what I'm trying to do is try and get my hand as deep as I can. And when I'm putting forward, I'm trying to put my elbows, so see how my elbow's down low? So it's collapsed on it. So when I kick, right, if I land my foot once again, I come my knee down. So that's just a one little thing, that elbow. Everyone's going to go pulling forward with the elbow. I want that to dig in so it almost tips his shoulders and allows him to go where I want him to go. Just real quickly, so that in, jump back up, you're going to come on the other side, so over this side, buddy. Yep, awesome. Now I'm just going to go, we're not doing this, but just so you guys can understand, is so full guard, break him down, head low, hips high, drive under, break him down, overhook the arm and then drives off with his left hand, starts pushing up, like no, so from under here, I've got this ability to take a really deep arm bar. It's obviously a lot more to it than just that hip swing, but of course I've got the anchor, I can use that to pivot myself around to get the arm bar, and the arm bars are a really deep arm bar off that as well, because they're generally pushing where I want to go. We'll just do this for one more minute, just do it a couple of times, each 1 more minute to get that elbow in, and then we'll finish the class and get some rounds in. 1, 2, 3.